was right next to the ajar door, having apparently been listening the whole time.
Hey, enjoy that little show, I guess.
We all have our secrets, Fia. Even if we don't know, we do. I don't fault you for it.
Well, good to hear. I'm hoping I don't have any more, but
I suppose only time will tell.
yeah, I guess so. And finding out whatever the hell's going on with Hilbrand, but yeah, that'll just be a bridge to cross when we come to it, I suppose, or not across, maybe, depending.
We'll see. But for the time being, I am content with as bare bones as this bed is. It is a bed.
It is one, and I'm gonna go take full advantage of that.
Agreed. Barry just collapses on it, wraps a blanket. Now we fast forward a bit. Ruhan is stirred by a preternatural force. From the sounds of it, Rose, you're awake. And awake with you is Abigail, who's sitting in her bed, pillow leaned on the bed frame itself to give like a leaning pose and writing in her journal. And then you both see Ruhan walk, get up, half asleep, more than half asleep, 3/4, 5/7, whatever, asleep, and begin leaving the place after grabbing Riptide. She looks at you like over a concerned, raised eyebrow. Should we? She whispers to you, should we?
Nods.
She closes the book and brings it with her, as well as her pen.
You would also notice Cracks sitting on him.
As you both get up, Cracks flies from the bed frame post where Korg has been laid down. Laid out is a different term. Laid down, and then if he flies over to Ruhan's horn and dutiful Cracks. That makes 3 of us then.
Rose does grab her axes. Just in case.
Ruhan, you've been walking out of the place from where it transitions from rocks and dirt and stuff like that to sand. There is a monetary out here, so a dozen and some baker's dozen and a bit more troops out here. These ones are differently kitted and geared and attired than the ones that you guys saw. To be fair, the ones you guys are geared for wet work, literal wet work. But these ones are different. Even different than the ones Connor had. They notice, like, it's like watching like a meerkat alert other meerkats. Like one of them notices you guys, and then the rest of them like turn to look at you. One of them, the one that notices you guys, just goes up to Ruhan and just asks. She asks, "Can I help you?" She says it's like shouting a good distance away as you are coming closer.
He just keeps walking. You're not afraid, but you don't need to be alarmed either.
Looks at Abigail like...
Yeah, you guys are hurrying behind him. The monitor looks at you guys. Is he alright? He seems to be in a trance of some sort.
Figuring that out.
Should we intervene?
Let us handle it. I'm not sure how he would react to strangers.
She shouts into the storage space. Clear out. In a manner similar to being told to scatter at the side of an incoming fireball, they all just like grab whatever research notes that they had on them, pens, stuff like that, moving stuff aside in a manner similar to nurses have to do when emergencies happen in a medical room. They begin moving stuff and then just clearing out.
They really are meerkats.
I will say that all the Venkoshi have not a hive mind, but they have like a connective network that they're all tied to.
So Facebook.
To a degree, it's more of a tactical thing than like a organizational thing. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it does help speed things up. I suppose a similar matter is like the Protoss have in StarCraft. That's a whole big thing for StarCraft 2. It's dumb as fuck. Anyways, though, yeah. So Ruhan, the slab itself is held up by 4 wooden pedestals that sit not the edge of the circumference area, but in the middle, like 3/4 away. So it is, held up, and you can see under it and stuff like that. You definitely see the edges, definitely see the top. The bottom is immaculately smooth. Well, smooth as a sea stone is.
He sort of like, where's the closest window that would have moonlight coming in?
That would probably be on the far end. It's like an open warehouse space, so moonlight is probably filtering in through that open, I'd say, doorway. I guess it is a doorway. Not onto the stone itself, though. It just lets it in from one way. Torches are illuminating, or lanterns, my bad, are illuminating the rest of the space, though.
You would just intrinsically just, if you needed to, just grow large and pick it up and start carrying it over that way. And putting it right outside of the moonlight.
Outside, in the moonlight, or of the moonlight?
Right before, so the moonlight will get onto it in just a second as the
Gotcha.
Okay.
it shifts.
Yeah, gotcha. So he, whereas you hear the researchers are actually writing stuff in their notebooks. It's like watching a bunch of students looking at a surgeon in work and taking notes on it. And he slowly holds it like a person carrying like a big beast, help using his gut to keep a contact point on it so it doesn't slip one way, using his hands outwardly stretched in the other way, and just lifts it over just before the moonlight.
Sets it down and he walks a ways and he looks at the ground and sort of goes right, and then it just feels he has hit the right place, and then turns around and waits and watches and waits for the light to hit that point that he's been so transfixed.
So eventually cross over as the moon moves.
Before that happens, Rose would ask him, should we be waiting for a fight? What's happening here?
As you say this, the Sarbaton of this Monotone tells one of the other ones to go get a defensive team.
She snaps her finger in front of Bruhan.
Less than a minute, or about a minute rather, as a team of, again, this crew looks similar to the ones that are following Connor, except they don't have a tray of hot drinks and towels and stuff like that. They come over just ready to shoot something.
Something. Yeah, she just snaps her fingers in front of Bruhan, which is probably not a smart choice, but anything? Hello?
Just pushes her gently aside.
Okay. Is he still in giant form?
and just wait, looking for the moment when the moonlight touches them.
Moment, a minute, a couple minutes pass. A few becoming several becoming 10. Eventually, though, the moonlight does come into contact with this point, so to speak, of the circular slab. He's returning the slab. As the moonlight hits the slab, it becomes I was to say scripture. I guess it is to a degree. The iconography, the sigildry on it, begins to glow. Very faintly. Very faintly. Just scribble. The defensive team form a triangular perimeter around it, 2 on the outside looking inwards, 1 which is basically right behind Ruhan and Euros. It's like if something gets summoned into here, they're gonna blast the shit out of it.
Yeah.
As it glows, he takes the sword and he tries to angle it to catch the light on it. To just waiting, hoping that the reflection of light imprints it onto the blade.
Imprints the moonlight.
It imprints the reflection of the moonlight, creating that Stein rune onto the blade.
Oh. You hold it out. Eventually, the reflection catches. It's a sizzling noise similar to when you guys were hit by the gravelight beams. The gravelight beams were dealt force and necrotic damage. The force you can imagine being the more sizzling part of it. Although I suppose sizzling your soul is necrotic. Similar sound effect here. This noise. Very slowly, gently, cautiously, in measured movements, which is impressive for a gigantified, larger formed, might formed rather, version of you. You begin carving in the rune. The slab itself, the dull energy in it begins actually to fade as the rune you carve is completed. Until, similar as when you brought it in, and similar as to when it went out, when you guys were teleported, it once more goes dark and is but a stone slab as you finish the rune itself. It seems to have siphoned or absorbed and concentrated the moonlight glowing of the slab itself. As you finish it, it glows bright. Once you finish it, no more moonlight left on the slab itself. It just glows like a neon sign of sorts.
He just stares at it, sort of coming back to senses. And like, you can see like sort of wipes at his eyes. They don't make mistakes.
Ruhan, are you alright?
Oh, yes. I suppose you could say I've heard the stone song.
Huh?
Sounds like something a dwarf would say. One of the researchers behind you, like, you guys can hear him. This is true. Dwarves supposedly hear symphonies underground. If they... Never mind. He, like, quiets himself.
That sounds like somebody that's going insane.
Oh,
Don't
perhaps.
judge, Rose. Don't judge.
For many stone giants, to stay above ground is to go insane. Or to disconnect from the stone. But did you see it though? It was beautiful.
It was certainly unique.
I've never seen anything like it. Which is surprising, considering all we've seen thus far.
I don't know if it can do it again. I don't believe it needs to.
Well, if we find another mystical slab at the bottom of the ocean, perhaps we can try again.
I pray that we don't end up finding one, because that means we're at the bottom of the ocean again.
I'm not
Forgot
saying
about that.
I agree, Krax. I agree. Ahem. The female Sarbaton clears her throat.
Hi.
Right. We are intervening.
And causing a bit of a ruckus.
That is fine. It was an enlightening experience. One which
Okay.
was well recorded.
Mm.
But if you would be so kind as to allow us to continue recording the slab itself for
Right.
future reference.
Of course, I will replace that for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. She looks at the defensive team and they just nod and shoulder the rifles and help along the process to make sure it's stably and properly placed back on the pedestals, moving, righting up the pedestals to their upstanding position, stuff like that.
As he does, he's like, did you know that when a Steinjoten makes a work of art, it is so intricately made with so much care and craftsmanship that it only is visible in its very truest glory at a small moment throughout the day.
The light hitting it
Such as
just
the
right.
middle of the night.
So how did you figure out what time of day it was? Or night?
I did it. I just listened. I think
Well-
that might have been made by a dream walk.
That would certainly explain nightly connotations. Yes, you're scribbling on more research pads.
Hmm.
We should probably get out of the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I can show you.
Walk and talk.
I believe I can.
Sure.
If you'd like to see.
Yeah. It's a situation that I can certainly say I have no idea anything about.
He turns and reaches out his hand, and as he does, his fur goes gray. And he says some words and does this.
Hey. Another reaction ability.
Wait, does he cast it on one of us, or does he just show like, oh, this is what the magic
Yeah,
would do?
I cast it on Rose.
Duh, perfect.
You know what to make.
Alright. Why do I have a +0 to this? That's still a good save. Actually, what's your DC?
Yeah, you make it.
Oh,
yeah,
sweet.
you make it.
But the intent is still there, and the weird magic effect is like, oh.
Nope. Oh, that's a shame. I think you would have really liked what you saw.
Weird. Maybe another time.
I'm changing Riptide's name.
Okay, so it's kind
Yeah.
of what... Yeah, okay.
That was really nice. Really, really nice.
Lunar Tide is what it's called now.
Hell yeah.
You do not get affected by James Stone. It does amplify that exhaustive feeling that has been in the back of your mind for the past while now, though. For a moment. That's how you know he's doing something, but eventually that leaves, leaving the original value, so to speak.
It's probably like an unintentional subtle reminder of like, oh yeah,
It
that's
goes
there.
from like 2 to 8 and then back to 2. On a scale of 1 to 10. Well, it'll be something to behold in the morning, perhaps. For now, I don't hear songs of stone, I hear the song of the bed.
Yeah, I can't even be clever, I'm tired.
Let's go back before the monitors get annoyed. You guys look at the monitors, none of them, you can't really tell any sort of facial expression. It's like talking to Varric when you first met him.
Gotcha.
You guys return back to your barracks. and tuck in for the night. Lorelai is still there. She's awake, and it's peculiar that she didn't follow you guys, but whatever. She is awaiting you guys' return though, and she just asked when you guys get back, "Is everything all right?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Did something happen?
Oh, I'm so sorry you missed it. It was such a beautiful work of art.
Oh, it's fine. You guys can tell me about it tomorrow or today
Later.
morning. She nods at later. She has her like knees like scrunched up, her arms wrapped around it in a sort of like idling manner.
Does it look like... Is there any indication that she, like, moved from that spot, or she just stayed there the entire time?
It looks like she's been there the whole time.
Okay.
Ron sort of pulls out his tool and starts like fiddling with his helmet, breastplate, and gauntlet.
Alright, I imagine you're touching up the runes on him.
Yeah, adding what he saw onto them. His defensive rune.
Ah, I see. I was like, yeah, to be a bit more specific, but
That way they're gonna be like that.
gotcha.
So
Yeah, makes sense to me.
So if you lose the sword, do you lose the rune, or would you still use the ability?
Technicality, yes, I believe.
Yeah, you do. You can replace it, but you lose
Until
it
you
too.
replace it, yeah, you lose it.
Hmm.
They're like pets cracks. In like a I don't know, disconcerted
See,
manner.
Ron probably stays up, knowing full well he's gonna sleep in later.
Fair enough.
And speaking of which, I do.
Ah,
Hey,
okay.
yo, fair enough, fair enough. Ruhan tinkers and sleeps.
I look forward to watching the VODs if Guard actually puts
I'm
Shut
gonna
up!
send-
I noticed.
I'm gonna send you the slide right now. Oh,
Okay.
you tell me which one tickles your fancy. If I can find where the fuck I'm
Okay.
keeping it. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. It's right. Yeah, I'll send it your way. There. Boom. So yeah, thanks for pointing out.
Yeah, I'll catch y'all later.
Yep, yep.
Be...
Okay.
So, yeah, we know when people are going to sleep and when they're waking up and such. So, yeah, you guys eventually hit Betty by time. It's a bit awkward. I had a scene planned for O involving the brooch, but we'll get to that at a later point. Anyways, yeah, you guys go to sleep.